You know how we do. Get them last minute posts in just before we go to bed. Today I relearned a lesson. For those of you who don't know, I am a combat vet, served in Iraq and Balad area back in 2004. I came home January 1st, 2005. One of the most vital things I think I learned out there is you can't react to a situation right away. I mean, there's a reaction you have to have, but you need to let the situation develop before you jump to conclusions. Like you hear pop, pop, pop over there. You can't just turn guns and start blazing. You need to sit down, establish a hold. You need to find out where the gunfire is coming from, find out what kind of element's shooting, and then decide is it safe to engage in that area because of innocent bystanders, just a whole bunch of other shit. You have other people in front of you that you don't want to shoot, like your buddies. So yeah, let the situation develop. That's one lesson, one very important lesson, and it doesn't even apply to combat. Oh, it doesn't. Rewind that. It doesn't only apply to combat. It's a lesson that I've learned is very effective in like day-to-day life in the civilian world. How do I say this without putting people on blast? Alright, I took it upon myself to believe that one person that I know who told everybody else they were going to be coming home on a certain date. I took it as Friday, which is like 2 days from now. Meanwhile, I came home, was going back and forth on the phone, trying to get things established in the room a little bit, and then come to find out that person was here. And then it potentially could have caused problems with somebody else if I would have kept it a secret. But I decided to let that other person know that person A was in the area, not knowing that person B already knew that person A was here. I mean, to avoid the whole I got fucking stressed out. I was ready to choke person A, beat them to a fucking bloody pulp. Because I felt like I was in that situation where it's damn, I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't, damned if I do, damned if I don't. So I did anyway. What's worse gonna happen? Person A gonna hate me for a week. Oh well. But come to find out, person B was aware, and I stressed for about a half an hour. Blood boiling, I was just to that level. And for me to get to that level, it takes a lot. I was there today, just for a little while. But because I jumped to conclusions, I didn't let the situation develop. I didn't find out what person B knew about person A, and I was lost in the sauce. So today's lesson, I relearned, and you're learning now, let the situation develop. Because no matter what life throws at you, you can't you have to instinctively react to put your guard up, but at the same time, you need to sit back and just, think about what's going on. Who are the key players? What are their motives? What danger am I in? And then you can react accordingly with a straighter mind. Which is why I tell people too, I'm not a big arguer. I actually don't enjoy it at all. I know a lot of people who love to pick fights. Playful fights, yeah, playful, because that always leads to very good things. But an argument, especially if it becomes heated, I'm not going to get involved. I'll say my piece for a second, but then I'll shut the fuck up because, one, you have to let the situation develop. They're screaming at you, you're screaming at them, and then they don't know what you're thinking, you don't know what they're thinking, you don't know the catalyst between all of this. You need to sit back, catch a cool head, and then approach the situation civilly, especially in like a romantic setting, you know, like not a setting, but you know, when you're involved with somebody, you can't just jump to conclusions. I'm the type that's gonna sit back and be like, listen, we both need to cool the fuck off before we talk about this like grown adults. And for me to argue and keep going, that takes a lot because I have a very long fuse, very like, you know those, like when you see the things come out of the tubes on the 4th of July. There's a time fuse. It's probably about yay long, but it takes a good 15-20 seconds for that to burn. Now if you take a regular fuse, like the fuse that you use to light that mortar shell, that much will burn in a second. But then that same much on the time fuse, I know I'm just rambling and ranting, but yeah, I have a long fucking fuse. Or maybe I have a short one that is like one of those time fuses. And when it's lit, it's like, you know what, I gotta let it go. We need to step back for a second, just let it cool off for a second. Look at my H2O. That's my H2O jacket. Yeah, I love H2O. I missed the show last night. I was just extremely tired. I saw him in November though, so it's alright. Back on track. Off that tangent. Yeah, let the situation develop. You know, sit back and just observe for a minute. Just for a minute, right? At the most, or at the least. Then you'll start to see what the hell's going on, and then you can react appropriately. Like I said, you take fire from the west. You can't just mow a whole field down because there could be 20, 30 people walking around. That's 20, 30 lives on your shoulders, or on your head, or on your conscience. Not a good thing. But yeah, sit back, let the situation develop before jumping into conclusions and reacting. Because sometimes it's not as bad as you think. And you're wasting a lot of time and energy stressing for no reason. My lesson of the day. Okay, I'm off the bed. It's like late. And somebody set my clock back. That clock was set half an hour forward. I got accustomed to it, and now it's actually right. Get 2 other alarms. That's a good thing. Alright, 7 minutes and 50 seconds, and this video is over. Good night.